Before we begin, I want to welcome you to our channel. For those who are new here, our mission is to share genuine Christian testimonies from around the world, spreading the powerful message of God's kingdom. We focus on stories about Jesus, the afterlife, heaven and hell, and other Bible-related topics, bringing them to you in engaging story form twice or 3 times a week. We invite you to become a member of this family by subscribing to our channel. God bless you as you do so. Today's experience was sent to us by a sister named Faith. She never considered being in hell because of her commitment to church. What took her to hell will shock you. Stay to the end to fully understand her experience. I will begin reading as sent to us. Hi, Daily Renewal. My name is Faith. My life has always been deeply rooted in faith. Growing up as the daughter of a pastor, I was surrounded by the teachings of the Bible and the principles of Christianity from a very young age. My father, a devoted servant of God, ensured that our household was one of prayer, love, and commitment to the Lord. From as early as I can remember, respect for elders was a cornerstone of our upbringing. My siblings and I were taught to address adults with the utmost respect, always mindful of our words and actions. Sunday mornings were sacred in our home. We never missed a Sunday school session. I still recall the excitement of putting on my best dress and heading to church, where I would learn about the stories of the Bible and the lessons they imparted. My parents emphasized the importance of kindness and compassion in our daily lives. They encouraged us to be generous with our time and resources, always willing to lend a helping hand to those in need. These values were not just taught but lived out daily by my parents, who were role models in every sense of the word. As I grew older, my commitment to my faith and church activities deepened. My dedication to serving the church became a defining aspect of my life. I wasn't content with merely attending services. I wanted to contribute actively and meaningfully. This drive led me to seek out opportunities where I could serve and make a difference within the church community. One of the first steps I took was joining the church's music unit. I had always loved singing, and being part of the choir allowed me to express my faith in a way that felt deeply personal and powerful. The music unit wasn't just about singing hymns. It was about leading the congregation in worship and creating an atmosphere where everyone could feel the presence of God. Rehearsals were rigorous, often requiring us to stay late into the evening to perfect our harmonies and learn new songs. Despite the hard work, I found immense joy and fulfillment in this ministry. Singing in the choir wasn't just an activity. It was a way to connect with God and help others do the same. Every note I sang, every harmony we perfected, felt like a prayer, a way to give glory to God. In addition to my involvement in the music unit, I also felt called to serve in another capacity. I joined the Sanctuary Keepers, a group dedicated to cleaning and preparing the church for services. This role required a different kind of dedication. We would arrive at the church an hour before the service, armed with cleaning supplies, ready to ensure that every corner of the sanctuary was spotless. My efforts in both the music unit and as a sanctuary keeper did not go unnoticed. Fellow church members, as well as the leadership, often praised my dedication and hard work. Their compliments were a source of encouragement and affirmation. They told me how much they appreciated my contributions, whether it was the uplifting music during the service or the pristine condition of the sanctuary. On the 14th of April, 2023, one evening, after another fulfilling rehearsal with the music unit, we had been preparing for a special Sunday service, and the songs we practiced felt especially powerful. As we wrapped up, I lingered a bit, chatting with fellow choir members about our plans for the service and exchanging laughter and encouragement. It was moments like these that made all the hard work worthwhile. The church was just a 10-minute walk from my house, and I enjoyed the short stroll home. That evening was no different. I said my goodbyes and started my walk home, humming one of the hymns we had just rehearsed. As I walked along the path, suddenly, I heard the roar of a motorcycle engine. Before I could fully comprehend what was happening, a bike came speeding around the corner, veering out of control. In the blink of an eye, the motorcycle was upon me. I tried to step aside, but it was too late. The impact was swift, sending me crashing to the ground. Pain shot through my body, and everything went dark. In what felt like an instant, I found myself floating above the scene. I could see my own body lying motionless on the pavement, surrounded by a growing crowd of concerned onlookers. It was a surreal experience, watching from above as people tried to rouse me. Their voices were muffled, and their faces seemed distant, almost as if I were viewing them through a foggy lens. I became aware of two beings standing beside me. Though they didn't speak, their presence was deeply reassuring. Without any exchange of words, they communicated a silent message that it was time to move on. In an instant, the scene below began to fade, and I found myself transitioning to a new environment. The world I had known gone away. I was in a realm that felt both mysterious and different. I couldn't see the two beings that were me earlier. I found myself on a line. Ahead of me in line, I saw two other souls awaiting their judgment. The first stepped forward as the man with the book opened it and began to read. I watched intently as the soul's deeds were recounted. Moments later, the man smiled and gestured toward a radiant light in the distance. The soul was enveloped in a warm glow and then gently guided toward the gates of paradise. The sight of the heavenly gates was breathtaking, majestic, and filled with an indescribable beauty. The second soul then stepped forward. Again, the man opened the book and read aloud the soul's actions and choices. This time, the judgment was more somber. The man shook his head, and a look of sadness crossed his face. The soul was led away, not toward the light, but to a darker, foreboding path. My heart pounded as I realized my own judgment was imminent. When it was my turn, I stepped forward, trembling with anticipation. The man opened the book. He looked up at me with a mixture of sorrow and disappointment. "Your name is not in the book of life," he said softly. As the man closed the book, he began to explain the reasons my name was not found within its sacred pages. His voice was filled with compassion, yet the truth he spoke was unyielding. He revealed that despite my outward dedication to church activities and apparent devotion, my heart had not truly been transformed by Christ. My actions, though numerous, lacked the genuine love and humility that are the true marks of a follower of Christ. He went on to describe how much of my service had been motivated by a desire for recognition and praise rather than a sincere commitment to God and others. I had been diligent in my visible roles, participating in the choir and sanctuary keepers, but these acts were often driven by a need to be seen and acknowledged. The true test of faith, he explained, was in the unseen acts of kindness and service, the quiet moments of compassion and humility that no one else might notice. As he spoke, scenes from my life began to unfold before me, highlighting the many opportunities one had missed to help those in need. I saw moments where I had turned away from those who needed assistance, too preoccupied with my own concerns or unwilling to go out of my way. There were times when I had the means and ability to make a difference in someone's life but chose not to act. These neglected opportunities were laid bare, each one a poignant reminder of how I had failed to live out the true teachings of Christ. The man reminded me that the proof of genuine love for Christ is displayed in how we follow his instructions, particularly in caring for the needy and showing compassion to others. My neglect of these opportunities to serve and love others revealed the true state of my heart, and it was this neglect that ultimately led to my name being absent from the book of life. As the man finished speaking, a force began to pull at me. The environment started to fade, replaced by a growing sense of dread. The pull was relentless, dragging me away from the presence of the man and the heavenly light. I felt a cold, oppressive weight enveloping me, and the realization of what was happening struck me with terrifying clarity. Desperation welled up within me, and I began to plead for a second chance. My pleas echoed in the void, but the man and the beings around him seemed to fade into the distance, their expressions of sorrow the last thing I saw before they disappeared completely. Just as the darkness threatened to consume me entirely, I felt a sudden pull. My eyes snapped open, and I found myself lying on the street, surrounded by concerned faces. People were speaking to me. I realized I had been pulled back into the physical world. The nightmare of my condemnation left as I became more aware of my surroundings. I want to say this to everyone listening to this. The essence of our faith is not merely in outward actions or visible roles within the church. True devotion to Christ is measured by the love and sincerity we carry in our hearts. Genuine love and service should flow naturally from our relationship with Christ, reflecting His compassion and humility in all we do. Our acts of service should not be performed for recognition or praise, but should be driven by a deep-seated desire to honor God and help others. Every small act of kindness, every moment of compassion, counts in the eyes of the Lord. It is in these quiet, often unnoticed acts that the true nature of our faith is revealed. Christ's instructions are clear. We are called to love and serve others as He did. This means going beyond our comfort zones, reaching out to those in need, and showing mercy and kindness without expecting anything in return. It is about living out the teachings of Christ in our daily lives, not just within the walls of the church, but in every interaction, every decision we make. We must examine our hearts and motives regularly, asking ourselves if we are truly following Christ's example or if we are merely performing for the approval of others. True discipleship requires humility, selflessness, and a willingness to put others' needs before our own. Christ's love for the church is profound and sacrificial. He gave His life for us, demonstrating the ultimate act of love. As believers, we are called to mirror this love in our relationships with others. This means forgiving freely, serving joyfully, and loving unconditionally. In our communities, we should strive to be sources of support and encouragement, helping one another grow in faith and love. We should be attentive to the needs around us, ready to lend a hand, a listening ear, or a kind word. Let us remember that our faith is shown through our actions. Let us be the light of the world, reflecting Christ's love and grace in everything we do. By doing so, we not only honor God, but also draw others closer to Him, creating a community of believers united in genuine love and service. All right, friends, this brings us to end of today's experience. Kindly like and share this video. If you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly do so to continue to get updated whenever we upload new experiences sent to us. Till our next meeting, remain blessed